This one's not too bad. I mean, he's a squid man, but like, he's aight. These two have some issues going on. Hello everybody, my name is Kelsey, and we're about to get very, very nerdy with some fun, spooky autumnal reads. Before I get started, I do want to give you a mini life update. I haven't been posting or recording for a couple weeks because we moved, as you can tell from my meh bookshelves. They're these are genres. I have organized them by genre, and I didn't want to film anything until I had my bookshelves behind me, but it's gonna take longer than I think to get this room organized, because we are finally putting Chris and I's books together. Because in the past, what you've seen on my channel is all of my books, but just because of how it worked out with the apartment we used to live in, his books were separated, not on purpose, they just were. And so we've been trying to finally put them all together. But also, he has a lot of books at his parents' house still that aren't even here. So we have to go buy a few more bookshelves in order to get this figured out, because I don't want to double stack like I've been doing before. So that's the goal. And I wanted to get these books together before I started filming. But it's just going to take longer because the bookshelves we want aren't in stock and we need to go order them. So I was just wanting to sit down and record some stuff, and I missed it. So I said, screw it, you guys can deal with my sticky note, bubble wrap shelves going on for at least a little bit until we can figure out what's happening. So that's why I haven't been posting. I think it's going to be the next video. I found some raw footage of a video that I had filmed at the old apartment that I hadn't actually put out yet. So that'll be coming soon. So if you randomly see a video that is of the old setup, that's what's going on. So, life update out of the way, let's get to talking about what I came here today, which is autumnal reads. So if you've watched my channel for a little while, you will have noticed that I don't really do recommendation videos. I think I've only ever done one, and that was last Christmas. So I don't really do those a whole lot, but for some reason today I just felt sitting down and talking to you about some fun spooky-ish autumnal reads that you could read at this time of year. I personally don't usually base my books based on the time of the year, except for Christmas. I like to read at least one book that's set around Christmas during December, but beyond that, but for some reason this year I've just really been in the mood to try and do that. So I have a few here that I think would be a really good fit for this time of year, and I wanted to do this for people who, like me, don't like horror books or movies. I don't horror. I'm saying this time of year, so it's in my head I'm thinking October and November kind of, where atmospheric books for this time of year, where it's a little darker, a little colder, that kind of stuff. So that is what I'm basing these on. So this is kind of all over the place, but I just wanted to share some fun books with you if you wanted to know my thoughts on some things. So let's get into that. The first one I want to talk about is 3 Dark Crowns by Kendara Blake. This is the first in a series of 4, and they're all out, so you can binge the entire series now if you want to. I'm personally trying to try to read the 4th one this month sometime, but this I think is just a fun series to read because it's really high fantasy, about 3 sisters who are basically trying to fight to be the last one standing so that they can be the queen. It's crazy. They all have magical powers, and this just feels right. And I don't know if it's because it's kind of not witchy, but it has people with powers in it, and I don't know if that's what I think is this time of year, but this just feels right for this time of year. So that's why I am suggesting this one. This is a pretty, I think, well-known series, so depending on which book you are on, if you've started the series, any of them I think would be a good for this time of year. The next one is just fun for me, and that is My Plain Jane by Cynthia Hand, Brody Ashton, and Jodi Meadows. This is a kind of fantasy-ish retelling of the story of Jane Eyre, but ghosts is a huge theme within this book. Ghosts hunting, which makes it kind of have that fall-like vibe, so that's why I put this on this list. It is hysterical. I love this book. This is the second in their My Janie series, but their writing is really, really funny, and they kind of just completely take over a different take on the story. So it's really just like this retelling with ghosts. And I loved it. So that's why I put it in here, because it's funny. So if you don't want like a super spooky like horror kind of book, but you want like fall aspects, this one, because ghosts. But it's funny. Just read it. It's good. The next one is another one that actually kind of falls in that kind of spookier vibe, and that is The Hazelwood by Melissa Albert. This one is really shiny for some reason, so there's going to be a lot of shine happening. So this one, I think it follows a girl named Alice. I read this like 2 years ago, so I honestly don't remember Alice. Look at me. So this follows a girl named Alice whose grandmother had written a series of like spookier type fairy tales. She has never met this grandparent, and this grandparent has died but is still super popular, and one day her mom goes missing and she has to kind of figure out what's going on, and it has to do with the Hazelwood, so she has to go back to her grandmother's estate that she's either, I don't think, ever been to. So this one definitely had some creepier vibes going on, because it is like a darker side of fairy tales. Like, that is a huge theme in this book, and I read it for the owls. Like, was it earlier this year? It might have been earlier this year. I did that when I was still working in news, and I was in the building at 3 a.m. alone listening to this audiobook. Do not recommend doing that. So that's why this one is in here, because it is kind of more of a spookier vibe. If you like dark fairy tales, this is the book for you. The next book that I put in this recommendations video is one that I have not read yet, and I know absolutely like 3 things about, but it just feels right, and one that I'm going to try to read this month, and that is The Bone Houses by Emily Lloyd Jones. This was the Owl Crate book last month for September. Words. And it's really just about like a graveyard and the dead not staying dead. So this gives me like super strong like zombie vibes. But on the back it says, no warrior could stop the rising dead, but perhaps a gravedigger could. So this seems like some kind of fantasy fun stuff that's going to happen. So that's why I put this one in here, because while I don't know a whole lot about this, it just feels right for this time of year. Speaking of zombies, I'm going to recommend I wouldn't know if I would call this like a series, but a collection of books that deals with each other. And that is, I don't even know what you would call this series, but that's the like Pride and Prejudice and Zombies, Dawn of the Dreadfuls, and Sense and Sensibility and Sea Monsters, like that, those books that are about Jane Austen's books, but like told differently. Specifically Pride and Prejudice and Zombies, because zombies, for you can't be a Jane Austen purist because you will hate these books. But if you're a Jane Austen fan and you like a little bit of like when people take the stories and do new things with them, this is a series for you, because like this one is obviously Pride and Prejudice. This one, it talks about her Sense and Sensibility, and this one actually doesn't have to do with either. This is kind of like a prequel to Pride and Prejudice and Zombies, just kind of telling you about how zombies happened. So that's why I am putting this entire series in here, because they're all fun and I like them, and they have like a spooky kind of, you know, zombie monster vibe, which is perfect for this time of year. The next book, or actually the next 2 books that I'm going to talk about, are books that I also haven't read, but I'm planning on reading this time of year because they feel right. And the first one I'm going to talk about is House of Salt and Sorrow by Aaron A. Craig. This one I got in my Owl Crate like a couple months ago. So this one is kind of like a spooky retelling of the 12 Dancing Princesses, but it's this family of, I believe there's 12 daughters. Yes, there's 12, and it follows Anna Lee, who is one of the 12, and 4 of her sisters have already died, and so it involves ghosts and her trying to figure out, like, maybe something's going on here. So I'm like 2 chapters in, so I'm not very far into this one, but I'm loving it so far. The next book that I want to talk about that I'm also reading at the moment is Serpent and Dove by Shelley Mahurin. Probably said that wrong. I apologize. This follows a witch named Louise who is in hiding. She's left her coven, and a witch hunter who somehow, due to circumstances that I haven't even figured out yet, get married. So, and then they have to like deal with everything. I love that so much. This is a fantasy. It's a, you know, fake dating slash marriage to real love situation that I'm loving. And that is all I needed to know. So, and everyone's like hyping this one up a lot on BookTube right now. So I am so excited to read this one. The next book is not really a book, it's actually a graphic novel that I'm going to suggest to you, and that is Nimona by Noelle Stevenson. This one I read either earlier this year or last year sometime, I honestly don't remember. And it is a graphic novel about a girl named Nimona who can shapeshift into a dragon, and she befriends a villain and becomes his sidekick. It's got that like fantasy aspect of it, and if you want something that's kind of atmospheric like that, but it's really easy to read, this is one that I suggest for those who want something a little lighter in the sense of how long it is. It's like chunky for a graphic novel, but it's like not hard to get through at all, and it was so cute and I was in love with it, so highly suggest this one as well. And the last one that I'm going to suggest is another series, and I think it's just because I like just finished the second one and it's like in my brain, and that is The Cruel Prince and the Wicked King. This series, I can't remember the official like name of the series, but these two, I just finished The Wicked King because the third and final of this book comes out in November, The Queen of Nothing, and I am hyped. So this is one that I suggested this time because it has a lot of like fairy, it's got a lot of witchy, in a sense of like supernatural elements to it, and it is darker, it's very political driven, it just like feels right for this time of year. I don't know why, and I don't know how to explain it to you, it just does. Alright, well that is it for the books that I feel like would be good to read at this time of year. They're just ones that I feel like you could snuggle up with like a cup of tea or coffee or hot chocolate or whatever, you know, hot drink of your choice, a blanket, you know, a fun candle or fire, just snuggle. Like, these are good snuggle reads that you can just sit down and like spend hours doing. So that is why I chose these. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know down below if you've read any of these and if you feel like these were actually good recommendations for this time of year. I think so, but that's just because of my mindset right now and how I'm really fantasy. But I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know if what you're looking forward to reading this time of year. If you have a fun atmospheric book that you're just like, this is the book for this time of year, let me know down below. I would love to know that, chat with you guys. If you like this video, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up and subscribe if you want to be part of this awesome growing family we've got going on over here. And I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!